What's up, YouTube? I've got to get back on the floors today because this car does need to go outside. Basically, I mean, I could get the manifold back on with the downpipe and drive the car out, but then I'd have to take it back off to do the proper welding underneath the car. So I've just got to get on it and get it finished. So the goal today is at least to start getting the rear cleaned up and some metal welded in, and the passenger side probably I could leave that for now because it isn't covered by the exhaust. But I got to get this driver side done because the exhaust pretty much runs along where I need to work. And now with it out, you can actually see above the muffler how bad the rot is in the back here. Very similar to the front. And I'm just going to have to cut out that section and weld in some metal, and you'll get a better look when I get underneath there. So we're underneath the back of the car, just underneath the fuel tank, and I guess the first time kind of getting a good look under the back here. And I mean, you can see let me get the light here. You can see the subframe's in really good shape, really good shape all the way across. I don't see any problems with it. This is all just surface rust. But as you can see, like, this is the fuel tank. It may have actually been replaced at some point because it is metal and I mean, it's got a little rust up here but on the pinch, but it's in really good shape. This is a spot I got to work on. Obviously gonna have to cut out a whole section here. This is where the muffler would sit. But basically I need to start here and get this all cut out so that I can at least get the exhaust mounted back up and get the car mobile again. But I'm not going to leave it like this because you can imagine what kind of crumple zone this is in a rear impact. So I got a lot of the rotted metal cut out. I didn't realize, like, there's like 3 layers on here or something. But this is obviously the main channel that's still in pretty good shape. I would just like to reattach some of the outer stuff to it and just come along on the outside of everything and close it all back in. I can't really get up in here very well, and it's gonna be a bit of an issue to get anything to weld up in here. At the same time, it's just not a lot of room to actually work, and I'm not cutting out anything else so that I can start dropping down some fresh metal. It's just not worth it to me. So I ground a bit up in here, and I'm not sure. I mean, you can't really weld rust. Well, I'm gonna try and weld it. As long as I can get that stuff to start sinking in and swirling that stuff around, then I think it'll stick. And obviously I got a lot of the other stuff cleaned up quite well. It should weld up pretty good. But now I'm going to move on to the driver's floor. The front cleaned up a bit, the same as the rear. Nothing overly fantastic. Got down to the spot welds over on this side. And I'm going to have to do a little bit more grinding before I start laying my pieces in. But realistically, I kind of need to see where the pieces are going to lay to make sure that's where I'm going to be actually welding to. Some of this stuff is a little bit thin, but it's doubled up. So it might be a little bit challenging to actually get it to weld. But I'm going to find out. Okay, so I've gotten the driver's floor reasonably back together. I wasn't able to get full beads of weld on the inner side. There's just the awkwardness of the metal and how thin it is, and it was just a little bit of a challenge to actually get it fully welded. So I've got it bridged good enough in there, and everything else is welded solid. And I mean this piece is not going anywhere. So we'll just get a good look at it. You can see I got really good penetration and welding across the top here. It's a little bubbly in some spots. I blew a little hole there. It's pretty decent on the back. I haven't actually hit it with the wire brush very good yet. So I've got another strip in the inside here that's welded to this, and another piece of the angle welded to that. And yes, I cheaped out and I just got some angle to put in there. You can see I cut another piece, smaller piece for the back side here. Got it welded pretty good along the back, as well as this strip of metal coming across here. I have it really welded really well against the floor here, this floor seam, and so that should take a lot of the weight and absorb it there to the back and the front. And I mean it's solid. You could certainly lift the car from here, no problem. So I've tried this product before. I'm not sure if Napa still offers it. As some of you know from reading my build thread in the past, I've used this product before. It's a rubberized undercoating, but I really don't know if it's sold or if it can actually be reordered by the store. I only need a bit for this. There's a lot in the can. It's a really high pressure can. I've used this on the Impreza's fuel tank when I replaced the fuel tank, and I had the rear subframe dropped out of it. Cleaned up the subframe, sprayed it all with this, the outrigger, and the fuel tank. Does a really nice coverage job and gives it that rubberized coating so that it can actually take a couple rock hits and not be a mess. So I'm gonna try and clean this up, just get rid of some of this, grind this down a little bit, this bubble, and clean up some of the welding dust, and pound it with this stuff, give it a good coating over this whole general area to prevent much further rot. And I got a small piece in here that I've got to do in the future, but like I said, I've got to get the car out. So as you can see, there's not a lot I can do back here. There's just so much rust, and there's a lot of material missing. But I feel I've got this rear channel bridged back to the front pretty decent. The angle adds extra integrity because, I mean, it is angle, and it's certainly thicker than what was originally in there. Who knows? I might get rear impacted and all the welds just break and it wouldn't be worth anything, but I don't think so. I think it's going to actually add integrity to the body, strengthen it up. But now, so I'm just going to wait for this to cool and maybe give it a couple more go-throughs with the wire brush, and then I'm going to nail it with the with that rubberized undercoating. Okay, so I've got stuff relatively cleaned up, and I'm just going to nail this thing. See it already starting to try and drip off, but it lays in there really, really thick. And that's kind of going to be the finished product. Not the prettiest thing, but much stronger than what was there. So I'm back under the front, and just gonna nail all this in here. Kind of hard for me to shoot it with my left hand. There we go. Probably just go about doing the whole underside of the car, most of this channel work after I'm done with it anyway. And that's gonna do that. So I know this video is probably, you know, a little bit boring. A lot like the exhaust, it was just a bunch of grinding and cutting up some pieces and welding them in there. But at least it's done for now. And I would say the left side of the car is pretty much the way I'm going to have it. It's a messy looking thing, that's for sure. But it's going to work. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time and money on this car. It's to have fun with. So that's going to add a lot of integrity to the body. It's not going to flex as much. Definitely going to add some impact resistance. Most people would probably just scrap it, right? That kind of body damage, either you just drive it till it kind of falls apart, or you usually scrap it, because why would you put the time or money into something like that? But that really didn't cost me very much at all, just my time. And just for me personally, in my own mind, I'm just glad that it's there. You know, just knowing that that kind of rot was there. I mean, you could come over a crazy speed bump and just destroy the bottom of the car. Now I can go ahead and put the exhaust back in, but I'm going to save that for the next time. I've got a lot of hours into the floor work, and the exhaust, it still needs to be welded in the center. The two pieces need to be welded, so I'm going to save that for tomorrow. So like I usually say, there's lots more coming on this car. I've got a lot more to do to it. Some parts have already arrived, but I'm not ready to do anything with them yet. More parts are coming. And I still need to order more parts, but I just got to, you know, wait out a little while. I can't be ordering everything all at once. I've got to get started on the body very soon. There's a lot to do there. Start working on the hood. I've got a lot of fiberglass work to do to the hood to get it reasonable. and gotta dig out the front bumper and start sanding it down. And as usual, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, definitely subscribe and leave your comments down below. I'll see you in the next one.